Why is it called confirmation? The sacrament of confirmation is called confirmation for two reasons. One, you are confirming that you want to be a Catholic. This time, the choice is yours. When you were baptized, your parent made the choice. Now that you have grown and can make your own decisions, you are agreeing with your baptism by confirming your faith. The second is that the Church is confirming that you are a good member of God's people. In this sacrament, the bishop, in the name of God, comes to put a seal of approval on you as fully belonging in the Catholic Church.
Another question you might have is why you have to choose a name. There are three reasons why we do this. The first is that in confirmation, you are confirming that you are choosing for yourself the faith your parents chose for you when you were baptized. At that time, your parents chose your name. Now that you're making your own decision, you even get to choose your name for yourself. Another reason we choose a saint's name is that it is a way of saying that there is something about the life of that I want to copy. Saints are the heroes of our faith, and by naming yourself after one of them, you are saying that you want to be a hero as well. Finally, there's an old custom that when a person takes on an important new life, like becoming a king or a queen or a pope, that person chooses a name to be called. Like Pope Francis, whose real name was George, or King George VI, whose real name was Albert. When you receive confirmation, you are taking on a new important role as a fully initiated adult in the faith, and so you take on a new name too. A cool benefit that comes with this is that when you choose a saint's name, that saint in heaven becomes a special spiritual patron for you, praying for you in a special way. When I was choosing my name, I chose Francis for St. Francis de Sales. He was the patron saint of writers and journalists, and he was very well known for being gentle and rich in faith, and that's what I wanted to copy about this saint. You also may be wondering about your sponsors. Again, in confirmation, you are confirming your baptism. At that time, your parents chose a sponsor for you. We call them godparents. The origins of this goes all the way back to the time of the first disciples when Christianity was illegal and Christians were being thrown in prison and even being executed. Way back then, when someone new tried to join the church, people worried that they might be a spy trying to find out who the Christians were so they could be arrested. So, before a person in those days could enter into the church, they needed someone already a member of the church to be willing to stand up for them and say it was okay.
That is why your sponsor has to be an already confirmed Catholic. They are already fully initiated into the church and they are standing up for you. The sponsor you chose out to be kind of like your saint name, but here on earth. For this reason, sponsors feel very honored when you ask them. My sponsor is my older cousin Joseph, and I chose him because I know that he would always stand up for me no matter what, and he would drop anything to always help me out. That's why I chose my cousin.
When I had the option of choosing my sponsor, I chose my brother. We had both been in Club 412 for a number of years by that time, and I felt very inspired by his strength and faith, and we both were lectors in Club 412, and we both grew in our faith together, so I wanted him to be an even more significant role in my own journey as a Catholic.
What is Club 412? Club 412 is a great way for teenagers to get involved in their faith. We take our inspiration from the words in St. Paul's first letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 14, 412, where he encourages the young Timothy.
Let no one have contempt for your youth, but set an example for those who believe in speech, conduct, love, faith, and purity.
Here at St. Dominic, we get together to do service projects to help the poor, and we also do the ministries like read, altar serve, music, and even Eucharistic minister at the 5 p.m. weekend Mass.
By being public about our faith, Club 412 members inspire others to be proud Catholics and to help others out.
If you would like to try being a part of Club 412, just tell your religion teacher and they can help you join it.
Libby! Libby!
What's up?
Hey, well, I just wanted to make sure you don't make any sudden movements.
Why?
Apparently I cannot negotiate with wolves.
What?
Well, you know how we're talking about saints today. I figured if I could demonstrate a miracle, for,
Wait, what about wolves?
Yeah, well, St. Francis and the Wolf of Gubbio, you remember the story where he convinces the wolf not to attack the town? Mm-hmm. I figured maybe if I brought a wolf...
Here!
No sudden movements.
Welcome to Catholic Central. I'm Libby.
And I'm Kai.
So today we'll be talking about the saints. Oh, the non-football related ones.
But more importantly, why should we care?
You might be thinking that long dead people who lived in distant times and places could never have any effect on your life.
Except possibly to give you nightmares about their statues coming to life and uniting as an army to kill you. No? Is that me? Okay.
But anyway, the saints can help us out a lot.
And yet still remain dead.
Because they're alive in heaven. Of course, we all know people on earth that we describe as living saints, but this is just an expression.
Well, yeah. If your experience is anything like mine, perhaps that's how people routinely describe you.
Or if your experience is anything like Kai's, that's how people routinely describe you in your dreams.
Oh, come on. As arrogant as that might sound, there's no problem with hoping you'll be a saint one day.
Actually, you're right. Technically, sainthood is what we should all be hoping for.
The word saint comes from sancti, the Latin which literally means holy ones.
Holy meaning someone who uses their gifts and passions in a way that reminds us of God's love. Not necessarily that they just walk around glowing.
Although, it doesn't rule out glowing either. Like the story of St. Philin, whose left arm was said to give off enough light to read the Bible by.
Which brings us to the more specific definition of those formally recognized saints, the saint somebodies honored by the universal church.
The church describes everyone who is in heaven as saints. They just don't go putting the word saint in front of every dead person's name.
The people formally declared saints by the church are people in heaven who lived holy lives and had a lasting impact in the life of the church.
So they're like the VIP list. But even though they did amazing things and often played a major part in history, they were still real people, everyday real people like you and me, with likes, dislikes, vices, and quirks. You don't have to be a perfect person to be a saint.
Saints get depressed, angry, frustrated, and sometimes they think they're total failures. They might not look or feel like saints. In fact, as Thomas Merton says, one of the first signs of a saint may well be the fact that other people don't know what to do with them.
St. Jerome, for example, was a notorious grouch. As one theologian put it, he attacked just about everybody for anything.
But the one thing the saint somebodies like St. Jerome did have to do was be radically open to God's call to make a difference in the world without worrying much about whether it makes sense or seems possible in others' eyes.
The church describes these as lives of heroic faith, virtue, and love. And when the church declares someone a saint through the process called canonization, the Pope puts a saint statue in a canon and then...
No. Canonization in the Catholic Church is recognizing whether someone is worthy enough to be put on a formal list or canon of saints.
Although the process of canonization isn't really simple. In fact, it's amazingly complicated.
Now serving B3 at window number 15.
Hello, so I just got out of purgatory and I'd like to see about becoming canonized so I can help people on earth get their prayers answered.
You can't apply for sainthood. Somebody has to have a reason to think you're a saint in the first place and bring your cause for sainthood, as they call it, to the Vatican. Maybe the process gets started and maybe it won't.
And maybe it will. There are 4 steps of canonization, right?
Right. The process can take years. They'll need a complete investigation of the person's activity on the earth, an honorable life of heroic virtues, and miracles happening after they died, yada, yada, yada. The first stage is, can you read this?
Servant of God.
Next level.
Venerable.
What does it mean?
Venerable?
I do the jokes. The word means honorable. Next level.
Blessed.
Blessed. Next level.
Blessed.
I'm talking here. Next
Sainthood!
next level.
Sainthood!
No canonization for you, okay? For now, just be happy you made it into heaven. Maybe they'll start your process later.
Yeah, St. Kaiser of Hollywood.
Don't hold your breath. Next!
So canonization is a big deal.
That's why once a person is canonized, Catholics may go crazy with enthusiasm, especially on feast days, which each saint has. A feast day is a specific day of the year in which the church remembers the saint with prayers, readings, or processions.
Or parades and parties, which might happen when a feast day goes mainstream, like St. Patrick's Day, St. Valentine's Day, or Halloween, which comes from All Hallows Eve, or the day before All Saints' Day.
The feast of all 10,000 saints and counting.
So obviously Catholics love saints. But why do they matter so much?
One reason: they inspire. They show the amazing things that God can accomplish with human beings, beginning with St. Mary, otherwise known as the Mother of Jesus and Queen of Saints.
Even the saints that didn't bear the Son of God are inspiring, because they refused to let anything stand in their way. Like Joan of Arc, who fearlessly led an entire army in the Middle Ages despite being a teenager.
Some saints inspire by demonstrating what it is to care for the most poor and undesirable in society, like Martin de Porres, who advocated for social justice in Peru for sick and radically oppressed mestizos.
Or a martyr like Maximilian Kolbe, who gave his life in place of another prisoner in Auschwitz, showing us the power and goodness of putting someone else's needs before our own.
Saints also serve as inspiring guides on how to use the artistic talents God gives us.
Other saints fought heroic internal battles, like Pope St. John Paul II, who was a great pope despite struggling against debilitating illness.
God was clearly working in their lives, and if they could do it, well, as Catholics say, so can we.
For Catholics, even when they don't feel very saintly, they can all be inspired by how close the saints were with God.
Saints show that the deeper your connection with God, the closer you get to your own calling.
The second reason Catholics love saints, they instruct us, better than anyone, on what it means to love God and love neighbor, not only with their lives, but with their writings, stories, and preaching.
Some were scholars who saw the profound connection between faith and reason.
St. Therese of Lisieux wrote a best-selling book on the little way of our everyday lives, lived as a gift of love to God and the people around her. The common thread with saints is a deep trust in God for the shape and evolution of their lives.
And because the saints lead such different kinds of lives and lifestyles with such different evolutions, just about every aspect of life is covered by what we call patron saints. Patron saints are special protectors over pretty much anything you can think of, including professions, illnesses, countries, and cities.
There's St. Joseph for workers and fathers, St. Jude for hopeless causes.
St. Anthony for lost things.
I know I've got St. Anthony on speed dial just for my keys alone.
You know who I've got on speed dial? St. Genesius.
Patron saint of clowns? Libby, you really should take yourself more seriously.
Funny. He's also the patron saint of actors, which has got to mean show hosts too. Patron saints are perfect examples of the third reason Catholics love saints. They intercede. For Catholics, saints are like their friends in heaven who they can ask for prayers, just like they'd ask their friends on earth.
You might say, isn't praying to saints idolatry or conjuring the dead with superstitious mumbo-jumbo?
Valid questions. As we pointed out in our episode on Mary, Catholics don't worship saints or statues, and there's no magic spell to get them to give us what we want.
They are people that are alive in heaven because of their faith and love of God. Since they were real, living, breathing humans on earth, no matter what you're going through, whether it's grief, addiction, or money problems, well, there's a saint you can turn to who knows exactly what it was like.
So, to wrap up, there are just as many paths to sainthood as there are saints. For Catholics, the road starts in daily life. It's about making choices that put love at the center and a life that helps to move the world to a better place.
The Catholics look to saints because 1, they inspire.
2, they instruct. And 3, they intercede from their place with God in heaven.
It's possible for everyone on earth to one day inspire, instruct, and intercede, just like the saints that have come before us.
After all, saints are sinners that just keep trying. I'm Livy, and this is Catholic Central.
And I'm Kai. No sudden movements.
Kai!